Our guys, we played a good team out there at Azusa, and our guys really came out ready to play. I mean, I would say that I thought we were ready to play, but we were really ready to play, and the guys even surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, and usually going into the year, you always think that the hitters are ahead of the pitchers. Did you even think that even more this weekend, that they were that much further ahead than the pitching?
Well, we swung it well, and obviously, so we're pleased with that, but there's also at the same time plenty to clean up on from the weekend too.
And then looking ahead to this week, you got Montana State Billings coming into town for the home opener. What do you know about them, and what can you expect out of them?
Well, they have quite a few kids back. They have a couple of nice additions. They're 4-4 to start the year with a tough early schedule. They went to Cal Poly Pomona and split with them on the road, as well as Cal State LA. So I think they're improved over last year, and certainly we got to put last week behind us. This is a new week and a new opponent and a new challenge.
Questions?
Say, Harrison, what, other than being back home, but what? I don't want to say what got into you, because you can hit like that, but what got into you?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of hard work coming along. It was a long fall, long winter, just constantly putting in the work, working on the swing, and just trusting my training when I'm out there.
You say obviously a lot more used to college pitching now after last season, but did it kind of surprise everybody, just the volume of offense that everybody put up?
I know from a player standpoint, we expect this out of ourselves. So even when we get a lead going, that we're not satisfied, and that those are still valuable reps that we get in, and we always want to capitalize and keep putting it on.
In-N-Out burgers, really?
Yeah, In-N-Out.
Parking lot, hit the building, or did you write your order on it?
I wish I could have got some out of that.
And Ryan, you just went out. The veteran pitchers, it looked like a little calmer than maybe some of the new guys, and that's kind of your role, I'm sure, right now, is I got to go out and throw strikes.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I know the people make plays behind me all the time as long as I'm filling up the zone. I think that there's a good chance that there's going to be plays being made behind me, and I trust the guys. And I also know that they're going to be throwing up 73 runs a weekend, or however many it was. It gives you a little bit more ease while you're out there on the mound, but it also makes you want to be sharp, to not get too relaxed, but it allows you to have a little bit of breathing room, not putting too much pressure on yourself.
They're behind you going, hey, get this guy out because we want to go hit some.
Exactly, yeah.
It kind of seemed like the bullpen had that veteran presence really strong too this weekend. I mean, Austin came in early and pitched a couple innings really strong, and then Frankie closed out a game really strong too. To have them kind of in that role, does that help you as well, knowing that if you can't always rely on your starters, that you can maybe go to the veteran guys in your bullpen, the new bullpen kids, and just kind of lean on them a little bit?
Well, yeah, and that's why we put them there. We put strike throwers, guys we have more information on, guys we trust, behind some kids that maybe are new to the program or haven't pitched as much. They're a lifeline, so to speak, if things don't go well. And in a couple of cases, they didn't go great after one inning, with Danilou and Mazzetti. But those kids are both valuable kids. I'm going to get fined for this, huh? They're in a development phase. So we put kids behind them that we think have a high probability of throwing strikes and restoring order if that's needed.
That's really what Austin did, is he came in and just kind of got you guys back level.
Yes.
And it just, and this week with the pitchers, and I know, first week, you just got to get them out there and get them used to things. So you kind of figure that retention and the learning curve kind of flattens out a little bit now.
Yeah, I mean, kids tend to run a little rich right out of the gates, especially when, as you mentioned, and you're right, new kids in the program. Maybe you're a little more self-aware, which isn't necessarily a good thing, and self-conscious and just a little more jittery, and so as long as we are able to continue to give them opportunities, that should settle in, I think, after a couple outings.
Kind of seemed like Harrison, we talked about it, like you just settled in really quickly. Kind of just is the whole team, the whole lineup just kind of carrying the momentum into this week, even though it's a brand new week, and just like, okay, now we're back home, we're back in Grand Junction, just gonna go for it again and see what we can produce?
Yeah, as far as momentum goes, we definitely brought ourselves back to neutral a lot this last weekend. Anytime that we were putting on runs, we were able to come back to what's important now and having the same approach at the plate each at bat. And I know that everyone is just as confident in themselves as I am, and I know we're excited to play this weekend.
To have a whole lineup that seemed to just start off strong. I mean, even Julian got in there and hit a home run, had a couple of solid hits in the last couple of games he played. To know you can change kids out too and have your bench play strong, is that important to have even in the beginning to feel like, okay, this is where we fit as a team as well?
Yeah, and I mentioned it last week that I think we're going to do a few things differently. You're going to see a lot of people play, and we do feel like we're too deep, and we don't want anybody baking on the bench for too long, and so kids are going to have to be ready to pinch hit, come in and pinch run, change things out. If we have somebody that's a little stale or a starting group that is flat, then as unemotionally as possible, we're just going to go with the next group. The thing about baseball is you can't sub guys in and sub them out. So, it's very different than other sports. So, if somebody comes out, they're done. But I think you'll see we're going to play that way for a good little while here.
Hayden being on the Silver Spikes, Golden Spikes, yeah, Silver Spike, whatever, list. I mean, it doesn't happen very often in Division II, or here. So what does that kind of mean for this program and for him?
Well, I think we're able to attract some really good players here and even better people. And I think it's great. It brings attention to our program. And I think as long as Hayden can handle the attaboy, it'll be just fine.
And he does. He's not a guy who gets all caught up in that. I mean, it's just, that's nice, and I'm sure it's bigger for teammates and his family than really him outwardly. So it's one of those.
Yeah, you just hope that kids process that information properly, and it doesn't become a distraction or alter the way they play their game. Because if they do, then it's tough. And if he's playing for those things in our program, we would call that a hidden agenda. If guys play for each other and for the right reasons, then they generally play better.
How do you guys, from last week to this week, I mean, obviously, you're not going to score 70 runs every weekend, but how do you kind of get yourselves, like you said, back to neutral and get ready? Because everybody's going to come out thinking, well, they only scored 7 runs. What's wrong with them?
Right. It's a lot of what we do in practice. We practice hitting line drives. We practice getting on base. And as long as we can trust what we do in there, that our coaches are putting us in the best position possible, I think we'll have all the confidence we need and be able to go out and perform just as good as we should.
See, Ryan, the pitching staff, I mean, you guys kind of have to pick each other up. If you've got a guy and you've kind of become one of the leaders on this staff, guy kind of struggled a little bit. What do you try to help him through in the dugout, or just leave him alone?
You obviously want, sometimes, guys need space. Everyone's different for a little bit, but kind of what we're talking about, just trying to get them back to neutral, and just there will be other opportunities. It's early in the season, and it's like everybody knows that somebody's going to pick them up, and we have a really good team camaraderie, and we know that nobody's out there just for themselves, and so just kind of remind them of that everyone's here for each other, and that to just keep working because they'll have another chance. And Skip always says, when the game finds you, let it find you ready. So just be ready for that.
It's going to be a little different. You've gone from 45, 50 degrees to 80 degrees, and now you're going to be back a little cooler. Preparation-wise, is it you just have to make sure you're good and warm before you go out there, obviously, now?
My routine stays the same the whole time. It's just you get a lot warmer, a lot faster when it's heated, but the preparation stays the same every day.
Question of the week.
With yesterday being Valentine's Day, who is your celebrity crush?
Somebody start. I need a second.
You had a head start too.
I'm going to go Margot Robbie.
Who's that?
She's an actress.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. Australian. You're next.
You're not doing it? Selena Gomez.
I'm afraid I'm married. I cannot answer that question.
Oh, here we go.
Well, we know how much you love Valentine's Day.
Halle Berry.